to serve our monarch in a personal capacity. And I thought that Britannia was simply the most beautiful ship in the world.
Britannia lay quietly in the Pool of London, the homecoming excitement all over. She was at home to newsreels and the press, everybody being curious about the new Royal Yacht.
Well, as a navigating officer, I was responsible for conducting the Royal Yacht when she was at sea, and for planning all her naval activities, including liaison with the private secretaries to the royal family and with embassies abroad and so on. But because the actual commanding officer of the Royal Yacht was an admiral who was a member of the royal household, when the Queen and Duke were on board, he would take lunch and dinner with the royal family, and therefore he was much less available than the normal captain of a warship. So I'd be called on those occasions.
A night voyage brought the Britannia to Stranraer, and the royal family were early on deck admiring the rugged Scottish coastline.
She's a royal residence, a palace, if you like, in her own right, and particular in that regard, in that originally put forward by the government as an acknowledgement of King George VI's role in the Second World War. But King George VI realised that the prime users of the new Britannia would actually be the Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh, and he therefore delegated royal oversight of their construction and design to the Queen and Prince Philip. So consequently of Sandringham, Balmoral, Buckingham Palace, Windsor Castle, Holyrood and so on, Britannia was actually the one palace that they had a unique bond with. 2/3 to 3/4 or so of the Royal Yacht's crew never served anywhere else. They were what was called permanent Royal Yacht Service, having volunteered to do that. And it was no cushy number, 6 months or more every year away at sea, and never a shore job.
Then it was full speed ahead for a cruise round the north of Scotland to Aberdeen. An exciting trip for the royal children, especially for Princess Anne, who was celebrating her 5th birthday.
Prince Philip was not only a very distinguished naval officer with a tremendous record of service in World War II, but the Queen has said the mother, the wife, the daughter, the granddaughter, and the great-granddaughter of naval officers, and both of them, by the time I arrived in Britannia, had at least a quarter of a century's experience of the Royal Yacht, and therefore there was nothing they didn't know about how things should be done.
Behind the wall at one end are cinema projectors. Pictures were shown on the voyage home. Some of the ship's furniture came from the old Britannia and the last Royal Yacht, the Victoria and Albert. Undue luxury has been avoided, and Britannia proved thoroughly seaworthy in 2 crossings of the Bay of Biscay.
And I can recall an occasion, again, we were leaving Naples after the state visit to Italy. It was blowing a hoolie, there was a heavy swell running, it was midnight, we were floodlit, of course, with the band playing. We went past the P&O liner Oriana, 2,000 passengers and crew were cheering and singing, not very tunefully, but lustily, God Save the Queen and Rule Britannia, and we emerged into the Mediterranean, heavy swell runnings, so we decided to go at 4 knots into that overnight to give a nice restful night to the royal party. It was the Admiral's idea, a very good idea, of course, but I said to the Admiral, I said, you will tell them, sir, before church tomorrow, that Stromboli, we were going to go and look at the volcanic eruption, the island of Stromboli, is off. We'll have to head straight for Palermo. Yes, of course, he said. Next morning, the Duke of Edinburgh came up to the bridge, asked me where we were. Here, sir, I said, showing on the chart. What the blankety are we doing here? He said, I thought we were supposed to be over there. I'm afraid the Admiral didn't keep his side of the bargain. It was not a good idea to make a frivolous remark, because he always took you seriously. And if you said anything to him which attracted his interest, he would pursue it in discussion. So one thought carefully before one engaged in conversation. But I actually had the privilege of encountering him on several occasions. I also had the honour to be chairman of the Naval and Military Club, the In and Out in London. And the Duke of Edinburgh was our revered president, and he came to a Trafalgar night dinner in 2018, and we concluded the proceedings, as we always did, by drinking to the health of our president. And he got up and immediately said, I'm living proof that works. I think it was a very typical comment and had us all in stitches. I think all of us in the Association of Royal Yachtsmen, and indeed in the wider Royal Naval Association, will be thinking of the Queen and the royal family, and wishing to transfer our love and support for them at this time. Nothing more than, in a classic phrase, humble duty and support.